So we're back. I actually have Diet Coke in my cup. This is okay. So this is the conversation. So I always say like I'm half crunchy. Like I like stuff that I know is good for me, and then every once in a while I love a good like plucked right out of the matrix, plucked right out of the system, the shit that is just bred for addiction, and Diet Coke is my drug of choice.
Yeah, so I think we have to go back to like what Matrix actually is so that we can give anytime we talk about Matrix, like this is what
we mean.
What it is. It's basically the game of the reality that we're in. Because in no way, shape, or form were we meant to work the way that we are, do the things that we do, ingest the chemicals that we ingest, and, you know, all the other conspiracy theories out there. Which, again, if you want to go down the deep, dark hole, we're going to give you a little tidbit. So when we talk about the Matrix, we're talking about this, well, it's a real reality, but it's almost like a fake reality. It's like a game, okay? That's what our society has come to.
Yeah,
essentially.
It's all about structure, and we can't exist in this reality without a structure. So I guess the question becomes, does that matrix support us or not? When you start to see that it's a system, you can become more consciously aware of whether or not you want to engage with it based on what you know. And if you don't, then you're more likely to be one of those people that's going to try to create a new way. That's where things can get really uncomfortable. So when we think about a system like school, and this is not like there's really hardworking teachers out there. There's a lot of people involved in these systems that are really trying to do their best to make it something that really cultivates a positive experience for people. But a lot of times that might be set up to fail because the system itself, the structure itself, the rules that have been embedded for so long don't allow people to really move and groove within that freedom.
Yes.
Right? So when we think about, let's stick with the student employee example and the creation of these systems so that the schooling system could breed future employees. And so what do we know about the schooling system? And I deal with this all the time with my own children. Where is it putting them in a box? Where the definition of good behavior in the school is you sit down, you shut up, you speak when spoken to, and you better ask good questions. Like you cannot get out of line. And so what happens is like you're taught essentially that that's the way you need to move and groove in this world in order to get the good mark on the report card that you then have to face your parent. And if you're not doing the right thing and it's not the right grade, you're not doing well enough. So there's no space for the individual experience and that natural alignment to emerge. And then what happens? We're doing that full time. I mean, this is a blessing if you're in school too. So this is where it becomes very controversial, number one, the topic at large. And number two, it also becomes where this benefit equation starts to come into play. Well, at least I have access to good school and I'm able to read. Like these are all really great things. These can be gifts. And so all these other feelings that might be coming up could feel selfish. It could feel like I have guilt that I even feel that, right? So there's a domestication process that happens very early on that is equated to a system of risk and reward. And so when we're years and years and years of school, how many hours a week need to stay in line? The structure has been defined and we graduate. Guess what? We're going into potentially, again, more school, where now those behaviors of clocking in, I'm going full time, I need to stay in line, I need to ask good questions, I need to speak when spoken to at the same time, and I can't get out of line or give too much of my own individual perspective because it's not going to be seen as a strength. It's going to be seen as a threat.
So when I was growing up, I actually went to Catholic school. This was like the beginning of, this was my experience with religion. And they would have us go into like theology, and then we'd have to go into like confession and like the church and things like that. And I remember having a conversation with the father, like during confession, right? And he was like, all right, Gina, well, first of all, if you've never been to confession with the priest and they have this little thing they slide open and it's like you can't see their full face, they're looking forward and you just see like the shadow of their face when you look over. And it's not the full thing because it's like there's a design pattern in there, so like you just see the side of a like a man's face
behind the curtain.
Yeah. And all of a sudden he goes, all right, well, says this little spiel and then asks me what I'm like how I've sinned. I go, Father, I don't think I sinned this week. I was really good.
I was a good girl. I'm in school.
I went to school.
I stayed in line. I stayed in my seat.
I said, I don't think I really don't. Like, I tried really hard because I had learned from the last week, all my sins. So I was like, all right, I'm really gonna try
I'm
this
on
week.
track.
Like, I'm good. I'm tracking. I'm good. I'm writing my letter to Santa. He knows what I want. Like I'm good. I'm on the good girls list. So he goes, well, you must have sinned for something. And I was like, I don't think I did. Like, I've really tried really hard. Like, I did all my chores. I did all my, like, everything. And he goes, well, you ate, didn't you? And I was like food? Yeah. He said, well, that's a sin.
Answering, yeah.
That's a sin, Gina. So you have to ask to be forgiven. And I was like, well,
tell me more.
So that rocked my whole world. And so I went through that like confession, just being like, no, I don't think this is right, man. Why would we be here and we have to eat if like, so that's really what made me like kind of question some of the systems that we had, because that, I just remember it stuck out to me so much, and like, it never sat right with me. And I just remember that story. I remember that day like it was like yesterday, of just going into that confessional and just being
what a
like,
shame cycle.
Man, I really like did so good this week. Like, Father's gonna be so proud because like I'm gonna go in and saying like, no, I didn't. And it was like, even though you did everything right, like you still have sinned. And I just remember breaking down and being like, this is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like, this is actually kind of crazy. I think where like my matrix mind kind of like started a little bit, because I started questioning the systems. And to go based on your point of like, they want us to sit down in chairs and kind of like learn and memorize and listen and take tests to just recall information. That is where like a lot of my questions started to pop up. And I started getting in trouble a lot because I started to question the systems, especially Catholic school systems.
That's a deep system.
Yeah. So
And
I was in a little bit of just kind of this weird spot of like feeling in my gut that I didn't know, so like
something's off.
This was right.
Yeah.
But then also being like, this is what everybody's doing, and I'm seen as a bad kid because like I'm not
brainwashing,
sitting down and listening and doing good on the, I was a C student at best. I'm a C student at best because I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, I can't recall some information, but I'm gonna tell you on the A, B, C, or D what makes the most sense to me. If running down the river and there's a lifeboat right there, but they say climb onto a tree, right. I'm grabbing the lifeboat, sir. I just remember kind of critical thinking and things like that just being very questionable growing up and limited.
Critical thinking is getting farther and farther away from humanity, I feel, especially with the emergence of AI. I think that that's a topic that we can go 50 different angles on, but in its core, where are we relying on something else? But when it comes to critical thinking, it comes back to like, what were your early childhood experiences for the risk and reward of stepping into that place, and how far was it out of line with some kind of norm? And I think in the Matrix conversation, I truly do believe at one point in time, whether it's a religious connotation or another, there was an essence or a core of something that probably really tracked and was really good. And then we humanize it. So we're taking the soul of something, we're taking the essence of something, and we're trying to create structure around it that is like one size fits most. And then depending on the person, the energy of the person, the whatever karmic energy they're bringing in that lifetime, it starts to become like, it starts to morph. And then it becomes maybe so big that it can't fail. And then it gets shaped. Like you're saying, this is the mission or the vision outwardly, but what really is the day-to-day mission and vision? What's driving it? So you might feel this pull around what it could be and what you feel they were trying to do with it versus the state of the state right now. And I think the corporate conversation continues to be a great one of ways to kind of point through. When I first had like that wake up call of the student employee connection point, I was like, damn. Because for me,
it's alarming.
It's alarming when you wrap your head around it. And like, you might be somebody that loves that shit, that is like, yeah, I like clocking in, clocking out 40 hours a week, put me at that computer. That might jive you perfectly, and good on you. Like, it's the one size fits most. There's probably plenty of people that are like, yeah, I'm cool with that. And it's not any cut into my hide. I'm good. And then there's other people that, like, for myself, where I was like, why does this feel so hard?
Yeah.
Why does this feel so difficult? And my relationship with productivity, that equation of 40 hours a week equaling value, was something I really had to like unearth when I went into business for myself, because my process was actually more efficient, more intuitive, and I could get more done in such a short period of time that I didn't even know if that was worthy
Yep.
of the price tag that I know it fetched. So that was something that was hard for me.
Yeah, because you and I don't know, we just when we click, like we get 3 employees worth of stuff done.
Yes. Very
like,
quickly.
Like each one of us.
Yes. Which can also create a framework of devaluing yourself and your work. And we definitely run into this a lot in conversations, particularly when you're starting out. You're like, I don't know how to price my work. I want to like give back. I want to be able to support people where they're at, but also maybe there's a little bit of underlying insecurity around like, can I charge this much for this? Like, you might not even see how your value is received.
Yeah.
And that's tricky.
Especially going hourly. Like a big thing that I did when I was starting my business was like I would charge hourly for websites or for, consulting, things like that, but wasn't taking into account the experience that I've had along the way, or like, any certifications that you get, or like those things as well, because that's time, energy, and effort that you spend on it as well. Yeah. I can get 3 times the amount of work done in an hour. So
right. The output becomes the valuation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you got there.
Right.
Yeah. So matrix can show up in a lot of different things. And some, like, we need a certain level of structure to be able to not have just like absolute utter chaos, but in the same conversation, everything is organized chaos. Like everything that's happening is all reverberating interdimensionally, even in a way that is constantly responding to like the energy that we're individually and then collectively creating. So sometimes I think about when we are plugged into a matrix environment that is a deep-rooted system that might work for most, might not be working for you, but you also know what a good report card looks like, right? And you know what the equation is to show up and get the A. And what that can often create is a divide between how I'm showing up for this thing and how I really feel on the inside. And I remember feeling this a lot in the realm of corporate events. I've actually heard from a lot of people that like, okay, this is just the thing that like you need to do. You got to be in that photo. You got to show up. Yeah. Like it's, if you're the chosen one to get on the panel, like this is going to be it. You're going to get that award. And it's just like this constant carrot. And what is your experience with that, Ben?
Well, so when I first started my business, I would put myself where everybody was. And I would do that very intentionally and very purposefully to make sure I was in those rooms so that people got to know me. Now, on the other end of it, understanding where I align, where I want to be, what sucks my energy, what gives me energy. You know that if I'm at an event that there's some real like meat and potatoes to it. It's not just because I'm very choosy with where I put my energy and who gets access to my energy. And corporate events, a huge suck of energy for me, because it's a lot of people who are, they're acting, they're putting on an act. They have a mask on. They're shielding, and it's like fake. It's fake energy to me.
Yeah.
At least that's the vibe that I get from it. It's like and you always see the same people going to the same things, trying to like get whatever the newest award is, or 40 under 40, or like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. These are like the checkpoints of the report card.
Yeah.
And when you're in it and you need to survive within it, and you are like, your equity has been built on that path that you're like, no, there is no alternative mode plan here. This is it. Like, this is what I'm doing. Then the energy that you feel in that room. So let's say even if you go and maybe you do connect with a few people that you're like, okay, I'm tracking. Yeah. They were very genuine and authentic. There's a collective energy in that room that can be very taxing and draining on your individual life force. So you're going in there wanting to remain genuine, authentic, maybe not guarded. You want to stay in your heart. You want to be able to connect with people. But the environment's not actually that safe to do that, because what's constantly bouncing at you and coming at you is the mask. And you almost, like, for me, I remember being like, oh my God, I know there's somebody behind there that is not showing up right now in this moment. And that's where everybody, what my experience was, that's when everybody just gets drunker and drunker.
Yeah.
And like, as somebody that doesn't drink, I remember towards the end of my corporate career being in rooms and I'm like, that's how y'all are feeling comfortable with each other now. Like everybody's just flowing. And I'm sitting here like, now this is just getting weird.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta go.
I remember wanting 40 under 40 for so long too, because I thought that was what would prove like almost my worth in business, or like that I had made something. And now I remember us talking about it a couple weeks ago. I'm like, I wish they would try to give me that shit. I'll shove it down their throat. Like I just feel so on the other side of it now, just because I would look so much at getting those flashy things as like
it represents
part of
something.
my worth and like part of how I do business. And honestly, I see it as the other way around now.
Yeah.
Like me not being at an event says something. Me being at an event really says something. And really says something that people are getting access to my energy. So that means that it's something that I actually value and feel aligned with.
Let's say you're somebody listening right now that just got this award. And I think that this is where it's like the system at large, and there's good people within these systems trying to like create things that make an impact on the region and give a place for people to feel seen. And maybe you are feeling really good about getting that. All I ask you to do is just sit with why you wanted it. Why you feel good after receiving it. Typically, there's a through line of external validation needed in order to feel like you've reset the clock in some regard around the fact that you're really not feeling good about what you're doing in some capacity. And this, again, this might not be everybody, but I know for me, I used to like, okay, women who mean business, that's on my checklist. And I know a lot of really great women who have won that and have done that. And that's great. And for me, it was like, okay, I won Woman on the Rise. And I was like, yeah, I'm on the rise. What am I on? Where am I going? What am I on the rise for? Let's buckle up. And I was like, and then I hit a ceiling, and I was rising and I hit a ceiling. And that ceiling often became like a title. Like, okay, I can't go any higher here. Why do I still feel actually like the higher that I've gone, the more my wings have been clipped? In fact, there was like a sweet spot in my career where I was managing people, but I wasn't in the ring of fire. And I felt like I could be in my creative energy. Like shit wasn't getting in my way. I wasn't being drained by politics all the time, which whatever your culture is, they exist. It exists. There's targeting going on. There's all kinds of antics going on. You've got people masking up. You've got red tape. You've got all this stuff going on. There's fear-based cultures. There's a lot of noise, not just in your face, but energetically, that is constantly at play. It just is. And I think a lot of people, when this big like takeover of remote work and hybrid work, I know for me, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know if I could go any further, not just trying to figure out how to make it work with my kids and drop-off schedules, but because I had a chance when I got off a call to like reset myself in my own energy, in my own space, and I could reclaim a feeling of true comfort.
Yeah. 100%. I don't know. I just feel like it's just like any system, right? Like the awards and stuff like that, it's a play for another company to give these awards.
It's a sponsorship.
Like it's giving them the ability to get seen. Like there's not saying, yes, I believe that there are a lot of good people, as you say, that get these awards and that are rightfully get the awards, right? Because you're doing the work. For me, I knew I was doing the work and I got pissed when I didn't get the award or get nominated for it. But it's also a political game too. You have to have the right people around you who know how to apply for these awards. And for me,
it's
in
an
the
algorithm.
community, it's like nobody knew about these awards that I was in a community with, and then I would see it, and then it's like, then you got to ask people to nominate you, and like it's just icky to me. I just don't.
It's ready for an upgrade.
Yeah, I just didn't see it as like something where I could go to someone and be like, hey, can you nominate me for this award? Because no one has time to just sit there and be like, I'm going to nominate Gina for this award because she's doing a lot of good things in the community. You might get like 1% of the population.
It's usually happening within the organization. Like, who are we going to put forth so that we can get the visibility? And
like giving the 40 under 40 or giving these.
For those in the cheap seats, it's all ad spend.
Yes.
It's all advertising spend and placement. So
So that's what we talk about when we're talking about like matrixy things. Like,
just be aware. It doesn't mean that you might like change anything per se. But when you enter that room, and my mind just works this way because of the background in marketing, I am looking at all the sponsorship placements. So like all of this is just like any advertising scheme that is related to brand recall. Like aided and unaided brand recall, where you hear a commercial enough, you might not even be paying attention to it, but when you think about something you need related to that, their name is top of mind. And there is surveying that is done pre-brand launch around what is the awareness, like who, when you think financial services, what 3 organizations come to your mind. If that company doesn't rank in those top 3, then ad spend is put out to get in your brain so that afterwards they resurvey and you made the top 3. That's how they measure brand equity. And I get it.
Psychological game, people.
It is.
Catch on.
It is part of it. So at the very least,
on the bandwagon or fall off.
Like let this conversation bring awareness to the fact that everything in one way or another is a matrix related business revenue generating machine. It just is.
Yes. And again, with that, not everything is bad, but it's just what you like, you understanding and you seeing that this is a reality, you're able to play the game.
Yeah.
And
if you choose to.
And that's really what it is. We're in this big game here. Okay. And it's a game of survival. It's a game of, if you're in a business, it's a game of how do I get ahead, or how do I get on that person's, top of mind. Right.
Yep.
And so my biggest thing would just be to question the systems, like question things. Why is this like this? Like I question everything now. Like why?
Yeah, I know. But I'm with you.
But you have to question everything, right?
Yes.
Because like we find out a lot of the things even that we learn in school that like that wasn't even the real story.
And there's layers to the questioning. If you don't feel like you're in a position to outwardly question, turn that questioning inward. What is this bringing up for me? What do I really feel about it? What are my values and how does this relate to my values? Am I like overriding what I really feel in my gut or what I feel is right so that I can fit in to this and feel like, and in that is that equation of shrinking a little bit or my lights dimming a little bit because now I'm really not able to co-sign the own moves that I'm making. So if nothing else, let the questioning start like inwardly. Because you'd be really surprised at what's like right under the surface.
Yeah. And just to go with my example for like the financial services company, like imagine knowing that and you're actively trying to get clients in there from your community, from wherever you're pulling from, knowing that this is going on, right? Bad on me, obviously, now retrospectively looking back but if I would have even just asked my question, like, does this feel right to me? It would have been a hard no, like obviously. But because we're doing things and we don't always think to think like that, and we don't want to face
what do you do with the answer is the next part of that.
But it's like, if I get the ick from this company and I'm actively trying to get clients to invest in this company, like that ick is just going to keep getting bigger because they're going to keep making more money and they're going to keep doing these things amplified. So if I would have just had that conversation, like inward, yes, I knew it didn't feel good, but like uncovering that and being like, okay, like this doesn't feel good. Now what? And kind of going deeper. I would just encourage that.
I completely agree. And I'm really big on paying attention to the terms and the phrases that have been normalized in the system. So 2 of those that I experienced. One is the golden handcuffs. I heard that. I got to the place where someone might consider that I had the golden handcuffs on. Like, why you got the golden handcuffs? Like, I'm like, what the hell, want to be cuffed? Come on, Officer Gina. I mean, unless I want to be, but that needs to be like on my terms. Okay. Like I didn't consent to this. And so when we think about that as a term that's normalized as like, you made it. Yeah. Like the retention on this position is going to be so strong because no one would ever walk away from that. No one in their right mind would ever walk away from that. Hold the phone.
Yeah.
Like what? So that was one that when I heard it, I was like, and like the conditioning there is like, yeah, like solid gold.
Right.
Yeah. And then you're like, wait a minute. I can't even enjoy my vacation. I'm just buying more stuff and upgrading more stuff to like temporarily make myself feel better, make it feel like I'm providing more for my children when they can't even like tune into my presence because I'm so freaking rattled around the next emergency call I'm going to get. So that's one that really stood out to me. The other, probably one of the most toxic phrases that I've ever heard in my career was really around the accountability conversation. And the phrase that was used was one throat to choke.
Oh, I've never heard that one
before. This one was getting dropped consistently. Not naming names, but y'all know who you are. One throat to choke is about not having too many layers of management or too many people involved in decision making so that I can target the one person that fucked this up. Ooh. So when you think about how that plays out in a company culture, I mean, think about that for a second. What does that do? That creates that environment where you kind of want it, like everything's fear-based now. Now, I don't even know if I can make the right move because I'm going to get choked today. Like what? And I brought this up and was very vocal about the fact like that needs to be completely taken off the table. Yeah. You take the phrase off the table, but the reality of what that represents is still very much at play. So even if we stop saying it in front of people, and this was said like at a leadership, retreat, like this is the message, you've got that doing so many different things to people in that room. And number one is extremely demotivating and extremely fear-based, but that becomes a paradigm. And that in of itself creates its own matrix of fear. Mm-hmm. And now I've got that's programmed. I'm hearing it so many times. Like now I've got, okay, I'm one throat to choke. Yep. I'm going to own it. I'm going to do, we have somebody come in and teach us how to do the circus bow when you make a mistake. And everything is like this big show. And then ultimately, you've made it if you've got golden handcuffs. Like, ick. So
makes me want to vomit.
Exactly. So my level of wanting to vomit daily and figure out how to go up against this, when to speak up, when as a leader to make sure that my responsibility in that is to make sure that none of that shit, none of that energy percolates into my team. That stops with me. And as good leaders, you're still holding that.
Oh yeah.
You're still carrying that. You're still bringing that home. You're trying to figure out on paper, golden handcuffs look amazing. The reality of golden handcuffs means you're stuck. You are most likely stuck and you cannot afford to make a move in any direction. So guess what happens? You have to endure and endure and endure. And usually what happens is over time, there's enough weathering, there's enough, honestly, brainwashing, drinking the Kool-Aid. All these terms are used in company culture. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. Funny, not funny, but that is that's what you're really thinking in that moment. And that whole term is from cults. So
know that if you ask your coworker how their day is going and they say, just another day in paradise, you're in.
You're in. You're in. Living the dream.
Just another day in paradise.
Okay. So the Matrix and your involvement in it, your awareness of it, just have fun with the scene.
Yes.
This does not have to be doomsday or shit. This can really be let me play around with this theme in my life. How is this showing up for me? The biggest thing is once you start to see it, you can also bring consciousness and awareness to how you move within it. Because when you're asleep at the wheel, you may not even realize how much you're putting yourself in a box, how much you're shoving your true self down, how much you're putting on a mask. And that's the part that we're trying to break up a little bit with this conversation. So what is filling your energy bucket and what is completely depleting it?
Yeah.
So almost like a this or that.
Almost like a this or that. And just a segue as well. Like the conversation that we're having when you understand that you're basically playing a game and are in the matrix, but you kind of are able to objectively see what's going on in the matrix around you is called spiritual awakening, because that is the ability for you to kind of remove yourself from as the avatar, right? And then you say, okay, here's what's going on here. And now you're able to move those chess pieces, those pieces, the way that you want to move it. Now knowing this, right? Because you're kind of out of the system. Well, we're in the system, but mentally, okay, here's what's going on. Here's the bigger picture. And now I know that the system is doing A, B, and C, but how can I play my cards, so that I can get to whatever my end game is? And so that's why they have the whole tax structure, and that's why they have all these different ways that corporations and businesses can get tax, strategies to not pay taxes, is because those are the families who literally set all this stuff up to make it to where
it's putting on the backs of everybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. So the awareness piece of that is so big.
Yeah.
Because when I really think back on my career, early on, like right when I was having my awakening, and I created that awareness and I saw all of these things, I had a chance to really look at the motivators behind the moves I was making. And when I really look back in my corporate career, there are very few things that I would have done differently. I tried really hard to be very true to myself, very honest. Early on, there was so much fear at play for me because I was still trying to figure out what it meant to be an emerging leader, what it meant to make it.
Women on the rise.
Like all these things, they're like, so the Four Agreements is one of my favorite books, talks about taking nothing personally. And the whole premise of this conversation isn't just stuff that hurts. It's also about praise. If you take praise very personally to the point where your whole day rises and falls on, did I get that? Did I get that recognition? Did I get that validation? Then it's just as much the other side of that starts to bring you way back down. And if you don't get enough of the validation, of the recognition, of the, I won the award, and now guess what? Now 50 people are in my DMs all of a sudden giving a shit about what I'm doing because I make my company look good, and therefore I could make their company look good if we're in partnership. That game is what a lot of people are locked into, and so are we as individuals.
Yeah, and actually, we were going to go into the panel conversation. I want to tap on that real quick. When I moved to Florida, I was actually reached out to come back and do a panel in New York. And I remember immediately saying yes. Like, I just felt like so lucky to be like, oh yeah, somebody chose me to do this panel, like all these things, right? Of course you're happy because if you think that somebody's seeing that you're doing it, you're a perfect fit, like cool, I love being on panels. So I fly back and I'm like super excited for it. It ends up being the day of the panel, and I immediately started getting what I call my stress energy zingy energy. Yeah. Because that's kind of what it feels like. Like you feel like a pinball machine when it like goes ding 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 ding. Like that's my zingy energy, and that's like my cortisol, I guess, the stress energy. And so as soon as I started getting ready, I try to like put myself into the mindset going in, right? Like trying to tap into that alter ego that I talked to you guys about a little bit last episode, and being like, okay, here's like the Gina that I want to show up, because I can't be like that all the time. That's not Gina walking down the street. Like I'm Gina here, but like Niag is the alter ego that I try to jump into, and
She don't play.
to be like, what would Niag do? Hashtag. But try to get into, and just so you know, that's my name jumbled up. And like when I was a cop, I made a fake Facebook profile that was Niag Roretz because it was my name jumbled up.
Roretz?
Yeah.
Like roaring?
No, like Roretz.
Roretz?
Roretz?
Roretz apres?
A lot of R's.
My alter ego is roaring.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. So this was like that kind of boss bitch energy that like you know the typical person would kind of think. But that is the mindset that I try to shift into when I'm going to speak, or when I'm trying to kind of remove some of that fear and anxiety. And when I tried shifting into her, it didn't work. I was like, okay, like there's something here. And I tried to like clear it out, you know, doing some energy things, trying to do some meditation, but it was just very like a gut blockage. And so it started getting closer to time, and I had to actually like leave my house now. And I'm driving there. I'm trying to put myself like mentally in the room. And I just I couldn't get past that like anxiety and like that feeling of just like, it was a lot. It was just like, it was so zingy. Like it was just flying like a pinball machine. So I get there, and it was at a hotel, and the doors open up like this. And all of a sudden I got punched like, have you ever seen the Scooby-Doo movie where like it's like the live action or whatever? Maybe it's not live action.
Been a long time.
But the Scooby-Doo movie where they go to Coney Island and they all turn into like the white spirits and like I felt like that. Like,
yeah, I get that.
It had just like bum rushed me. And I got there, and immediately they were like, okay, like I felt like it was like zoomed in. I'm like, okay, so Gina, let's, you know, come
and
this
that's
way.
the zingy.
Meet this. And I was like, oh my God, it was just overloaded. And for me, I hadn't been in that corporate like environment in over like a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And so getting back into that, I was just so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to like put that on the shelf in order to like go and do my thing. So I got there and I was in half panic, right? But everybody that I saw there like was like, oh my God, you're so, you were so calm. Like I didn't even notice, or you did so good. I didn't even notice. And so for me, I had made myself feel really small and just kind of like really started second guessing myself and like what I was doing there and just like the feelings that I was getting. Like, am I even supposed to be here right now? I don't know. This isn't a good feeling. Like, I'm not feeling good. Like, I don't
mind you, is like everyone in the audience is probably feeling that same thing. So you're taking on the collective energy of that room. Like, is this mine or not?
Yeah.
We might not know.
And now that I'm so sensitive to energy and like other people's, and I didn't do anything to really block myself because I was trying to be open and on. And so I think that that's what was happening was I was really taking in what the room, like a lot of those people were feeling. And then also myself of being like, okay, this isn't the environment that like I want to be in right now.
Yeah.
So it was just like a lot of things that were off-putting to me. But I talked to several people, and even when I was up like on the panel talking, they were like, oh my God, you did so good. And I'm over here like,
what just happened? I was like,
my hands were shaking. I'm like, you wouldn't know because I'm very good at like hiding some of that stuff, but I was freaking out and I did not feel good. Like it was just not a good experience for me. I straight up decided after that day, I'm like, I am not ever going to do this to myself again.
At least not in that way.
Not in that, no.
Because you are born for a panel on the green couch. But it's an important reminder, particularly if you are in the room watching somebody on the panel, that things might look great from the outside, but typically there is this whole other thing going on. And so what can happen if you're sitting there watching is, oh my gosh, they're so confident. They're so good at this thing. I don't think I could ever do that. Oh my God, I don't know what I would do if I would do that. That energy. And we are like kind of taught that this sensitivity, this energetic sensitivity, you kind of have to like turn it off. You kind of have to like, all right, let me put the wall up, and that's the mask, right? So like our real self, that our body knows if we're safe in an environment or not. And that doesn't just mean physical safety anymore. Like that means emotional safety, psychological safety. Is the energy in the room conducive to me feeling like I can really show up as my full self? And now, not to mention the people on the panel. That everyone's just maybe trying to figure out like how to say the best thing, right? Like what's the little clip that they might use in the promo or the pull quote, and I'll be tagged in it. Like there's all these things at play that can create pressure. It's performative pressure that can really, honestly, it can take us out of our gifts very quickly.
And I had written down like a bunch of things that I wanted to say, and I didn't say any of them because I tried so hard to like structure what I was going to say, but I'm such a flow kind of person, and I'm going to tell you what I'm actually feeling, and I'm not the type that can like formulate a response, remember it, and then go. Like that's just not how I operate. So when I was trying, I'm like, damn, I didn't say any of the shit that I just wanted to say.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know what? That's what people needed to hear. What I just said, that's what people needed to hear.
I used to be like paralyzed by public speaking. And early on in my career, I realized that I was actually very good at it. Like I would go up there and something would take over. And I was like, oh my God, like now I have to do this more. Lauren took over. Meanwhile, I have like lapis and crystals in my pocket to channel my anxiety into it. Like all these things are happening. Nobody knows this is happening because I am like being eaten alive on the inside. But I realized very quickly, anytime I tried to go to the space of preparation, this is where like the mind of the report card that says, if you're not prepared, you fail, like whatever it is. And I'm like, yeah, but every time I try to do that and put myself in this container, I get up there and I'm like trying to think. If you're trying to think, the flow state can't really come into play. So for me, I learned, number one, like you just said, this message is for the room. This might not even be, what I think or thought I was going to say might not be what that room needs to hear in that moment. So you're adapting in real time to deliver something that needed to be said. And that might not be what you put on your cue card. So for me, it was like, well, let me know how I'm going to open it up and how I'm going to transition it out. And once I could feel like those two were set, I let something else take over in between. And it just allowed me to kind of get out of my own way big time. So thank you for sharing that, because I think it's important that like, this is the stage. right? And there is a lot tied to it. It means a lot of things to a lot of people. And we can also really go to a place of being very self-critical, whether you're the person that's going on to the panel where it's like, oh my gosh, what do I do with this? How do I, now I just have, and then you have to recover the whole afternoon because you're exhausted after, or the person in the audience that's telling themselves a story about what that person's going through and how easy it seemed for them and all these things. We don't have any clue what's at play.
Absolutely. And my last note on this would be just to not say yes just because it's an opportunity for you to get in front of people. Like, make sure it actually aligns with what you want to do, who you are, and where you want to go. Because if I look retrospectively long-term at that situation and all of what it entailed, yes, was it a good opportunity? Of course. Did I learn things from it? Of course. But would I do that again? No, I wouldn't. There was no, like, people got exposure to me for free. I didn't get anything in return. Like, did I want exposure? No, like, I didn't need exposure. Like, so it was just a give and not a take. Not a take that was equivalent to what
the exchange was off. And so the funny thing about this story that we discovered was that this same event, I was approached before it became a panel to be the keynote and do the event. And this was my first time out of corporate. I was like, chosen, right? Like,
the chosen
I was the chosen one. And I'm like, keynote, yeah, like, I really want to do this. I have a lot of energy and message that I want to do to move the energy in the room. And I met with the board and I was talking about my vision of how like as a keynote, I already know I'm going to be moving energy in that room. I'm going to bring that room through a visualization. I'm going to get up. I'm going to move around. I'm going to create something in that room. And I just want to make sure that you're ready for that. Like that aligns with your vision of what you want created in the room. And of course it all sounds, like, this is differentiated. This is cool. But it didn't feel like that room was ready for that. So what happened was, like, everything on paper, golden handcuffs, this feels like a yes. I'm in front of 300 people. I get exposure. I get to put my name out there. All these things that feel like yeses in my mind. I slept on it. I woke up the next morning and it was a no. Like, I'm like, what do you mean? It was almost like I was talking to myself. What do you mean it's a no? Like, this sounds like a really cool thing, right? And I had to reach out and said, respectfully, I appreciate the time and the consideration. And I don't know for what reason that this is a no at this time, but it's a no for me. And I just shut it down and walked away and was like, this is the other part of it. What did I just do? Because now I'm like, I want to plug into something. I want something to plug into in my new chapter of entrepreneurship. But these are the same things I was trying to plug into before. Now I'm just on the stage instead of in the seat.
Right.
And so the entrepreneur's on the stage typically, right? Or the trailblazers on the stage and trying to find a new way, but trying to plug into something that doesn't exist yet. So I'm really excited for what we're going to build.
Absolutely.
That's just going to create, it's a whole new
remove
room.
The ick
It's a whole
from
new
the corporate,
room.
like,
we see you as the individual. We're going to activate your personal power and we're going to create something collectively that, like, really actually has you leaving feeling like your cup has been filled up instead of depleted with need for recovery.
Yeah, because imagine just, like, having an event that actually, like, we could do whatever we want and
we get weird.
Y'all are going to confession.
So we are planning something for the fall, and there ain't no behind the screen. What do you mean you didn't sin? You ate, didn't you?
You ate. Everybody's sitting right now.
You can eat. We eating. So I think we should end it with a little bit of this or that.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we're gonna incorporate, and we're going longer on our episodes now because we heard we're going long. I'm getting excited for our game. We're getting longer on our.
No, when you get excited,
I start to wiggle in my seat. I'm probably really loud right now. But what was I going to say?
Probably, yeah.
It's back. I was thinking of a song.
Telepathically.
I was thinking of a song. A lot of people reached out and said, like, because we do like to have some fun in the beginning, but by the time we get to the meat and potatoes, the episode goes really quick. So they're like, wait a minute, I was driving with you. So we're probably actually more realistically into the 45-minute, 1 hour mark. But the cool thing is like, if you're popping us on in the car on the way to your job.
R.I.P. No, just
rip. So we said, you can then listen to us at the end of your day.
Yeah.
And that we can help transition you back into your home life in a way that resets the clock a little bit. So
yeah.
Thanks for sticking with us at this episode. And let's play a game. I'm ready.
So we've decided to do a little this or that, and we need some help with like deciding what we actually want to call it. But basically, it's kind of going to be like a would you rather, and it's going to be toxic corporate cringy stuff. We didn't even get into LinkedIn.
We dipped a toe.
Oh no, we
You
didn't.
went at Ward and somebody hit you up in the DMs, and you're like, Gina's like, you didn't remove the M dash from your chat GPT, bitches. Everybody is posting.
Please remove the M dash.
Stop cutting and pasting from chat GPT because
my name isn't Angela.
Definitely not an Angie.
Oh my God.
Wait,
at least if you're going to copy and paste the message, at least change the name to the person that you're actually.
Add a little bit of your own flavor into it because this shit is stale.
Book a meeting if you want to lead.
Let me tell you how I can give you 1,000 leads. Like, yeah. So ick.
I want to just like flick those people. I'm sorry, but if you're that person, you're getting flicked.
You are in the matrix. You are operating as a robot, and you need to bring your consciousness back to the table and infuse some of your freaking magic into it that is going to make me connect with you as a human.
Yes.
And not as your stupid output from your algorithm.
Yeah. Like try just saying, hey.
Whew.
Maybe.
Spicy.
That stuff just makes, I'm so passionate about that stuff because it's so annoying.
When the chef hand comes out.
Oh, the Italian stallion out here. instead of this, it's this.
Out. Not yet. So, okay, I have a clarifying question for our game.
You have a clarifying question for our game?
For us. We need to make a decision.
Okay, what's your question?
Do we just give the answer or can we give
more detail
background?
Yeah, background. Okay. Absolutely.
Because I feel like every one of these is going to need a little disclaimer.
Okay.
And by the way, while she's looking that up on this episode, if you have ideas of little challenges or things that you want to see us do that you have seen that are fun, because we're a good time, let us know. And we'll see what we can do. But no tortilla challenges, please.
Nothing that is
she ain't about it.
Because
no
violence. That's why I even watch like MMA and things like that. I'm like, I could not get so upset that I would rage out and kill somebody.
Yeah, I don't want to get killed over a tortilla.
This is like, I'm sorry. I can't competitively.
Flour on your cheek.
Friendly.
Bitch.
I can't friendly.
I'm like, I'm sorry.
Like, how do you friendly like fight with somebody?
Slap?
All right, which one do you want to do?
Make me choose.
I don't know.
Okay, here we go.
Is it from boyfriend?
Yes. Boyfriend is ChatGPT.
His name is Chat.
And we're not, so here's the thing.
We're not
either, but whenever we say my boyfriend, we are not totally shaming ChatGPT or use of. We just mean like, remember to put your own flavor in this shit because like you're just copy and pasting and the M dash you probably can't even find on your keyboard. And I see that the word is italicized in there and you probably didn't do that. So
100%.
Yes.
You can't even do that.
You can't even do that and definitely not on your phone. So I notice it in your text messages too. Okay. Gaslit for speaking up or praised for staying silent?
I'm going to have to go with gaslit.
It's the obvious choice.
I mean, at this point, like I can't be silent about things.
Yeah.
If you were talking like corporate taste, then I would definitely be like,
or like
oh, no,
anywhere, because this happens in families too.
Yeah, I feel like that would be really fake of me to be silent because knowing on the inside that I really don't agree with it, like I can't not say something.
Fair.
What about you?
Do I answer now?
Yeah.
Okay. I agree with you. And I feel like if you already have to question whether or not you should speak up, you're already being fucking gaslit. Like there is already something going on that somebody is pretending isn't going on. And what you're doing is being like, let me pop a flare and put a mirror right in front of you, which all that does is confront their bullshit. So you're just the bringer of their own bullshit and they don't want to fuck at it. So gaslit, speak up.
Yeah.
It's already broken.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Yep. You pick the next one. How many should we do? 3?
Yeah.
Okay, we're doing 3. This is número 2. Eso sí que es.
Okay. Eso sí que.
I think people should also submit to us their own this or that.
I think you should give us some
like
stories.
which options do you have for us? Because we will answer them. We will do it live and we'll shout you out if you want. Because chosen.
Hashtag
chosen.
The chosen one. I don't know. He didn't really give us some good ones
No.
on this. But I did write something out earlier that I wanted to talk about.
Well, I definitely think that one is a strong enough question around, like, it's like the theme in a lot of things we talked about where you might be staying small is like, remember that you're like,
How about things
already being
that give us the ick on LinkedIn?
logging in.
That was I think the mic has to drop on that one. That was like fucking great.
2 girls, 1 mic out.
That was so good. Man, you were so clever. I'm so glad that you're my best friend. I'm so lucky to have you. Hashtag fucking chosen, bro. I chose the fuck out of you.
Yeah, you did. I was over here beaconing for you, bitch. I was in New York, like, get her, conjure.
You was over there like the
I was
Holy
doing a Gina
Spirit
summon.
moving.
I was doing a Gina summon spell.
Oh man,
You know, like,
that was like gold. Not handcuff gold, but just gold.
No, just this.
That was gold. That was gold. I don't think I have anything to say after that.
It. Yeah, it's getting ick in there.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
But okay, but to answer, like, in serio.
Just good enough for me.
Okay. I ignore every single DM that is obviously bullshit in the first one line. Like, the preview is already not passing the sniff test.
Can I actually
read me one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I responded.
We're gonna end on that note. She's gonna read us one. Ick in action. That's what we're gonna call it.
All right. His name is Gabriel. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. All right. So this was August 27th, 2024. It's from a man named Gabriel, who is a virtual financial advisor. I'm sorry we haven't been able to chat, Nicole.
What the fuck? Out. We out.
I'm reading like, okay.
I don't need your $5 Starbucks card.
Okay. I was reaching out because I want to be available to those looking for help with retirement funds or other investment planning. Would you be interested in a conversation? First of all, you got my fucking name wrong.
Yeah, we out. We can't pass go.
Second of all, what? You don't even try to get to know me.
Yes, let me hand you all my money.
You think the first thing I'm thinking about is helping me with retirement? Sorry, Gabriel. No, it's not it. So I said, hi, Gabriel. I understand this is probably a DM you copy and pasted, but let me make sure you remember to change, but please make sure you remember to change names before sending, smiley face. ... And if you're ever looking for a virtual assistant, please let me know. I'd be happy to take this part off your plate, Gina. So this is when I was
lead gen.
So this is what. So
did he respond?
So that is how you flip the switch. The switch.
But
LOL.
You don't want
this was no. But I wanted to like
Flip
purposely like do that, and that's
like
how my reverse psychology works.
Yeah, that's boss move.
Because that was like, oh shit, like.
Yeah,
I fucked up, and maybe I shouldn't be doing this because I'm fucking up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I'm not the first one he's done that to.
No, because you know he called somebody else Gina.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
100%. Or another Nicole.
Yep.
So he says, "LOL" in caps. Sorry, Gina. I had a client coming in and tried to cheat to be quick. It's a perfect example as to why cutting corners is not the best idea. I will keep you in mind if I hire an assistant. I would love to set up a time for a quick chat about investing if you have any time in the next couple of weeks. It's a great example. How about I do the same and I'll keep you in mind if I ever decide to change investment firms.
And you know what? So, like, when we look on the other side of that lens, right?
Gabriel
this guy is probably held to a quota that is so unrealistic, and he doesn't want to be the target. So he's like trying to pop, like be the machine to get all this shit out, and he's missing the point.
Yeah,
like we missed the point. Like we missed the plot.
Especially as a financial advisor, is to build relationships and connect with people and understand their pain points and understand what they are going through and what they've been through generationally, so that you can understand how to not put them in the same place as their parents or the same place as, or where they don't want to be right here and now. You don't even know if I have a retirement set up. You don't know if I'm financially even have life insurance or have a savings. If I don't even have a savings, do you think I'm already thinking about retirement? No, I don't have them right now. Like, bro, what the hell?
So you got to meet people where they're at and connect genuinely. And if you're not interested in connecting genuinely, don't connect.
Yeah.
Like, just don't.
I have to admit, I've been that person though that sent the blind DM thing. But that was also, when I was part of that robotic, the matrix.
Yeah.
Okay. But now I understand.
Now we're the matrix. We are after the matrix.
The matrix. So, all right.
Exhibit A of why
I think we should actually bring like a real life example of something like each time we go. I got a lot of them.
I'm down. I'm gonna look at.
But that was so funny because, and it was also like, if you do have someone that is like that also gives you a good like tester of how you can reverse psychology and like, you know, like kind of put the ball back in your court. Totally. That's exactly what I did. And it was kind of like letting him know what I did without like telling him, without being cringy on his post and being like, hey, if you ever need to, you know, if you ever want to do this and not make this mistake again and have somebody call you out on this bullshit, like here, you can call me, like I'm a virtual assistant.
Yep. 100%. And if you're not on the receiving end, check and make sure you're not on the sending end. Like take a look at the quality of what you're sending. Are you taking a minute to attune to what you're trying to create by way of connection? Because I tell you what, you're never going to hit your numbers if you're not sinking deeper into the quality of what you're creating for yourself and for others.
Yeah. And obviously we have some experience with this. So if you ever want to hire us to help you, we're available.
Client waitlist now open.
But you know, if this is something that you struggle with and you're finding that it's hard for you to maybe pick up leaves. If you're raking the leaves,
then you called Emerald Outdoor Solutions and they'll clean up everything for you. It'll be linked below.
If you are ever like kind of struggling with leads and like how to organically connect with people, that is something that I specialize so well in because I literally built my business straight off of organic connections, like no paid promo, no like cringy stuff, just me being organically me, and then people naturally radiate towards me. Right. And not to say that, but like I was doing things and I was doing the thing that that felt good to me. And naturally people see that energy and see me warped up in that energy. And they're like, oh, like she's doing something. And so the people who are like on that same wavelength are going to be attracted to you. And then the people who are not are going to be like,
and then there's some people that are intimidated by it. And if you're intimidated by it, please come forth.
Yeah.
Because that needs to be healed and it's a safe place to do that. So the way that we approach this is actually first rooted in human design, understanding your human design, a bit of a reading around that for how you are best and most naturally aligned to interact with yourself and the world around you. It's a very unbiased view and information that you can work with. And then very real tailored coaching to help support whatever aspect of self and then in turn business that you're really trying to create some shifts within. So it's quite a powerful duo.
Yeah. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to us, info@feelingcalled.com, or send us a DM on the socials. And we would love to hear your guys' experiences on LinkedIn and corporate trauma.
Give us our challenges for next time.
Yep.